My name is Randy Hanner, and I'm going to be tying my jig Jolly Rancher for you today. I'm going to start out with a size 14 403 BLJ, or you could use any one of the Umpqua series jig hooks as well. This is a size 3.5 millimeter tungsten chartreuse bead, slotted, and the thread I'm using right now is black uni thread 8/0. This fly is a great fly, and it's called the Jolly Rancher because trout eat it like candy. They can't keep it out of their mouths hardly, especially when you're fishing in still waters. One of the keys to this fly is the marabou tail, just black marabou for this one. And the key to the marabou tail is making it 3 times the length of the body or longer. It really gives it a nice wiggle action as it's moving through the water, and the fish just can't keep their mouths off of it. So we're going to tie this in right behind the bead, and then we're going to wrap it all the way down the body just to keep a nice uniform size. And then if the tail is too long, then I can just break off the tips. So right down to there, that looks about right. I don't like the pointed fine tips on them, so I'm just going to break those off so they're more blunt. And that's a perfect tail for it right there. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some black holographic Flashabou, just your standard black holographic. It's also going to be the rib of the fly too, but we'll do 2 strands, 1 on each side. When I tie this, I usually just like to use 1 strand, measure it out on one side, wrap it in, fold it over as I hold it down, and then just trim it to length on the other side there. And then you can use the same strand for the rib. So then I'll tie in the rib as well right now. Right on the top, that way I don't grab one of the strands and use one of my tail strands for the rib. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to take some black eye stub, and that's going to be the body. We'll just go ahead and wrap this up. That's perfect. Now, the hackle that I'm going to use is just a black, this is a black grizzly from a rooster neck, but I prefer hen usually, but any black saddle that you have is going to work just fine. And I'll break off some of the strands down so that way I've got a nice smooth platform to tie in right behind the bead. And then I can just trim that off later. And I'll do 2 wraps right behind the bead, and then 2 or 3 wraps down the body. That way the eye stub shows all the way through. And then I'll counter wrap it with that piece of Flashabou. Fold these back. Couple wraps right behind the bead just to lock it in place. Now we're almost done. Just want to fold those guys back. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to add in some electric yellow, fluorescent yellow eye stub right behind the bead just to give it a little extra hot spot there. Plus it matches that chartreuse bead very well. Come in and whip finish. And there you've got a jig Jolly Rancher.